Hello everybody and welcome back live to your Simraceway Sunday race-off. You're now visiting the supporting championship in the third round of the the all-wheel drive championship, I should say, in qualifying the 2011 Subaru Impreza being put through its paces today here at the gorgeous Phoenix Raceway, running the road layout, of course. And John, obviously big oval fan, how much of a challenge is this road course, well, the layout that isn't normally used here by the Simraceway members?
Very challenging. It's more challenging than it seems, especially with this car. You've got, you got no elevation changes apart from when you come back onto the oval circuit, and then turn one is just a flat-out killer. With you're braking for so long and turning for so long for an apex that's so very much late and all that.
Yeah, it really is a very difficult circuit indeed, and the car just was going to add to that. We've seen already how fast the Evos are. We've seen how much fun to drive the Subarus are. Now, what do you get when you put the car that really does demand the driver to think way outside of the box when driving it? You'll see a lot of drivers trying to drift around here. They're trying to get the extra traction going sideways through corners because they can, and that's what this car was built to do. And it's going to be a very exciting afternoon. I've got a feeling I may not have much of a voice left after this one, so we'll have to wait and see how I can get into the final couple of races. But a quick run through of the qualifying order. It's B13A6 that crosses the line on pole provisionally, just in front of G Cortese, Mr. PA third, Lounger P4. We've got, it's just changed actually. There's, I think Van Panther's just gone up. It has indeed. So it's PA in fourth, Lounger fifth, Devil Bevin is in sixth position, seventh is Kappa Bomber, eighth Fraggle, ninth is Mergia, 10th place is Luke Sky 80. We got 11th place is Androic Passer, 12th place Wild 7, 13th place Litos. That runs out your runners other than Belinas, but Belinas having already finished the session means that we can advance to the warm-up session. So G Cortese on pole by just over, or just under I should say, a tenth of a second. That is an exceptionally close time.
Indeed, I mean that kind of shows up how much competitive the field is right now and all that.
Absolutely, and we'll see just how competitive they are as myself and John Daniels will be right back with you to call the race in its entirety. Hello everybody and welcome back live to Phoenix International Raceway for the third round of your all-wheel drive championship live here on Simraceway. Cortese on pole, B13 alongside as they charge down into the first corner. It's going to be a fun one, and I've got a feeling it could be one of the most intense experiences that we may ever see here in Simraceway. So now, let's just await the lights. Liam Jenkins, John Daniels in the commentary box, giving you all of the action live here on the Simraceway YouTube channel. Now the question is, who will get to a good start? B13's had an amazing launch off the line. It's allowed to go to the outside. PA tries to get himself in the mix as well, but as they stream down now through that very long first corner, of course, not using the oval part of the circuit just yet, as they make their way down through that very, very narrow hairpin. John, and just look how tight they all are.
Oh yeah, indeed, but that's kind of normal just following what I was seeing the heats yesterday.
And it's just still Cortese leads at the moment. Then we've got Van Panther. Oh, who's hit B13 there, just a bit of a tap. Maybe just letting him know that he's there. I'm sure these guys have got no bad blood between them whatsoever. This being one of the most competitive series that Simraceway has ever hosted, and the only championship environment race tonight as Lounger almost looks to the inside of Van Panther there. He definitely showed his front teeth as PA charges one up the inside, and that should be, oh, and he did the wall, and that's not gone well at all. And I think luckily there for the rest of the drivers involved, there were no major casualties. They're all still going strong as they go onto the oval for the first time.
Yeah, these guys need to be careful right here because they can easily slide up off. If they use the hairpin, or not the hairpin, but the apron, that is a good spot to get some good turn in.
They start at number 2, and it's still Cortese that leads that long snake of cars. They go through the opening chicane, and it's so hard to shake, isn't it, when you've got a trail of cars that big with a circuit so short. It's so hard to actually gain time on your opponents.
Indeed, I mean, it's a very hard car and track combo right here. I mean, oh yeah, pretty much. It was very hard combo to drive right here and all that.
And John, you obviously took a look at the heat races earlier on as well. Who were a few of the drivers that stood out to you, and who could well be underdogs going into this one?
People that were fast. I know a couple people that were fast yesterday were RGA and Devil Devin, but in the first heat they actually both crashed out while they were 1 and 2. No one made it in during the second heat. You know, it was a very exciting. Well, so they have a chance right now.
Talking of Devil Bevan as well, he's already going to the inside there, looking to continue where he left off from the heats, and he's almost got the car there, but some impressive defending from Capabomber enables him to just maintain that position for a little longer at least. It may not be secure for long. Devil Bevan looking very racy right now under that tailgate of Capabomber.
Yeah, indeed, but like I said, it's very hard to pass here, only because of this car combo, because just when you think you got the inside and you can put the power down, you slide up either into them and then you've got to give way so you don't make contact with them or something like that, or when you start get going, the other guy gets going and then it just becomes a case of agony.
It really does, but one man who's not really in agony at all is the race leader. He's led from pole so far. The opening 3 laps will be under his reign as he goes over the line, this time by just over a second, separating himself and B1386. Van Panther a couple seconds further down the road, and then out the same distance away is Van Panther. Then we've got PA, of course, Lounger also. They're all still pressing on. Only 3 seconds separate the top 5 after 3 laps of racing, well, 3 whole laps of racing at least. So still very close out the front, and also that midfield is looking just a little bit too aggressive, I think, right now. It's a lot of drivers trying to overdrive that Subaru.
Yeah, but I think that's the only way they can do it. I think Devil Bevan's gone a bit wide there, gave up a couple spots, or at least Emergia looks to possibly lose more, come through that hairpin. But yeah, it's very hard to reiterating all the points. You know, you think you're trying to get everything, so you overdrive the car, trying to get it better, and he spins again.
No, he does. It's not being good. Oh, there's a couple of cars actually there, and that's not good. Yes, so Devil Bevan's down. We've got Fraggle there as well. Bolinas involved. Litos at the tail end of it. So a very messy incident there.
Yeah, Fraggle looked like he got into Andriuka going into the hairpin after Devil Bevan must have hit the handbrake or something and spun sideways out. I couldn't really only tell that well.
Talking of drivers who are maybe in a bit of a sticky situation, B13 could be in one. He's already taken that lead down to well under a second. He's looking to try and advance it further though, as he's all over the back of Mr. Cortese, who's held on pretty strong so far, but may still have his work cut out for him as Van Panther also starts to mount a charge. This top three are looking very, very feisty. I'm talking of feisty side by side there. Lounger and PA Lounger over the curb, and that has prevented that move from succeeding. But oh, a nice bit of driving there. Spot Sierra goes to the inside. If he makes his stick, it will be a very smart move indeed, but PA just holds the line.
Yeah, but they cut him off a little bit there though. I'm not going to defend Lounger by any means, but PA cut him off a little bit there going into that corner. So, you know, even though he had a nose there, surprised Lounger didn't give him a little tap, just letting him know he's there.
Very good point, and another lap in the books as the drivers start to get into their comfort zones now and just try and find a consistent rhythm. But I think right now for Lounger it's all about doing the opposite. He wants to try and find a way past PA. Start with, and he's being forced onto the curbs once again. PA with some very assertive defending here today, not letting Lounger through very easily by any stretch of the imagination. He's really having to fight for it.
Well, yeah, and of course my motto is if they're not working hard, you're not working hard enough. He must have went to Bud School of Thought on that front.
Aaron Lounger really starting to up the ante, isn't he? Because as he goes to the inside right now, will this be a chance for a move? No, the move's cut short again. PA holds the inside line, still looking strong. But to be brutally honest with you, I think it's going to be coming. The thing is, as you said before though, John, this circuit very difficult to pass. How hard is it for these drivers to mount an actual offensive manoeuvre right now? Because the corners are all so tight and tricky that there's no real easy place to overtake without running the risk of colliding with a barrier or another car.
Oh yeah, and then this car just adds everything. It just maximizes everything bad times 1,000 right now, because I think Lounger's got the chance now as he gets under PA finally now. But what I was saying was, it's very hard because turn one just basically messes up any chance of a run you've got, unless the other guy goes wide, then you can pass. And then with this car where, like if you got a guy on the outside and you two both get started going, then y'all are pretty much tied, no matter how it works. Whether you're on the inside or the other guy's on the outside, it's very hard. It looks harder than it seems.
Ooh, and just taking a look there, I thought so. That was very hard. Would have been for Cortese to hold on right then, because V13 yet again is getting closer through this oval section. Obviously a best place for drafting, but now you'd think, John, that slipstreaming on the oval part of the track would be ideal, but because you're not in full throttle a lot of the time, a lot of drivers are actually lifting off as they come out of the final couple of corners. It's not really the best place to catch a draft.
I mean, I'm going to go ahead and call it right now. There is no draft. Phoenix is, in NASCAR, we always know Phoenix is a tight, flat, short track. You don't really draft here. This is a circuit more for tight, close bumper banging stuff. And you got to force your opponent out of the way because you're not going to be on the throttle a lot here. You know, it's all kind of more about grip and handling. And then, say, physical speed and drafting. A better place that you could see more speed and drafting quote would be like Chicagoland Speedway that we have here, or classic case in point is Daytona, which we have on Simraceway.
Yeah, very, very good point indeed, and I think this quick run through of the top five as it stands then. Cortese from B13, Van Panther third, Lounger fourth, PA in fifth, just outside the top five. However, we've got Kappa Bomber, Luke Sky, Wild 7, Andre Parser, Fraggle, who's definitely trying to mount a charge now and get his race back under good terms once again here on lap number 8 of 27. Move to the inside, but no avail just yet. We've got Bolinas in 11th, Devil in 12th, Litos in 13th, Mergia in 14th, and that rounds out our runners. But surprisingly, despite the action-packed start to the race, we've not had a single retirement yet, so attrition rate is very low.
Yeah, that's very surprising. But then again, this is a long race, so you've got to keep that in mind, even though we're only a third of the way there.
Yeah, very true, but drivers, they want to get this out of the way. Of course, we're essentially over the halfway in the championship, and with drivers having a drop round, they don't want a bad one. They want to get 4 consistent results, and you've driven in a championship with this sort of structure where you have 4 races, you have a drop round. When you get to this stage in the season, you get to race number 3, how much pressure is on the driver?
It's a lot more than you really think, because you realize, I think we've had our first retirement. Freckles left the game, but it's very hard because you realize that, oh shoot, you probably messed up in like one of the first 2 races, and then you realize, oh shoot, you can't do anything bad. You've got to be running at full tilt, and then that can either cause you to do better, or it can cause you to fail and basically have something happen to you, and you ultimately have a worse race.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking of a worse race, just an update on what happened to Frego. He did hit the wall, and the engine essentially exploded. So Frego out of the race after a massive collision with the wall. So unfortunate there. I knew I'd put a commentator's curse on it as soon as I brought up the word attrition rate. It always tends to happen here in Simraceway, but let's try and not curse this though, because Devil Bevan's gone up the inside of Bellina's. Very difficult pass, but he succeeded. Nicely placed, that was for P10. The Devil Bevan breaks back inside the top 10 again as Bellina's tries to snatch it back. No avail. Devil Bevan holding his ground for now, but he's got a long way to the car in front of him. It's a good 9 seconds away.
Yeah, indeed, but I mean, if you're good enough, you can cut down that gap. I mean, it really is a case of where numbers are only numbers unless, or I know what I'm trying to say, but I don't really know how. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on, we've got a bit of smoke there through turn number 1, and it's easy to understand why of how hard these cars are being pushed, but Cortese a 1.2 second lead at this stage here on that number 11 of 27. He's had a big start. B13 and the surrounding cars pretty much have done a very good job to keep him in close check, but Cortese, to be brutally honest, has had a very cool, calm and collected start. He's not showed any signs to come into pressure. He's not shown any signs of inconsistency. In fact, he's had a very solid, very safe start to the race, and that's exactly the dream start he would have hoped for.
Yeah, indeed, that's pretty much, he's done everything he needs at this point. Just needs to drive smart, drive clean, hit his marks, and go on and win, essentially.
And one man will be looking to take that will be Van Panther in 3rd. He's been in the top step of the podium many a time before, looking to return there once again. But to do that, he's got to get his way up to B13 and then pass both him and G Cortese. He's about 2 seconds away at the moment, but got these two in very close check as you look right on board. And just seeing how he's attacking the curbs. Now that's something you don't really see. He's consistently putting 2 wheels on the curbs, and you can just see how high those revs are going as he's doing so. Very aggressive style of curb riding here. Is this normal for a driver, or do you try and stay away from the curbs?
I know sometimes depending on your series, you either aim for them in some cases, or you avoid them a lot, especially like in wet conditions. But now, sometimes though, you'll try and use them to help you in the best case, even though it really doesn't. But sometimes you aim, sometimes you don't. It really is a case of driver's preference and also can vary in conditions.
It really is. So we've got to think, if this top 2 fight is Van Panther's chance at a win, then he's going to be trying taking it with both arms now as we approach the halfway stage of this race. Lap 13 of 27 has just got underway, and it's still Cortese leads, still B13 chasing, with Van Panther having completely dispersed now of Lounger and company, 5 seconds clear of the man who sits in 4th position, Mr. PH chasing him, however, in P5. Van Panther arguably in the most enviable position on the circuit. He's not got any pressure from in front. He's not having to consistently look in his rear view mirror. All he can do really is coast along to a very nice podium.
Yeah, I mean, but of course if he wants good points, he can still very much try, at least I say try, and get to the Cortesian B13, or he can just sort of sit back and lick his chops and wait for B13 and Cortesi to take each other out. That's not going to be likely. I mean, I've raced with both the guys up there, and they're very good and clean, consistent racers, so that's not as feasible as an option just to wait at this point. So he may want to start getting aggressive at this point.
Cortesi's proven it time in, time out, though. It's great to see him now at the top of a race. He'll be looking to add another victory to his collection. It'll be his first one in competitive Simraceway racing in quite some time, with B13 still looking to rip that one from him though. And I think both of these drivers have very much improved their style over recent months. We remember back in the days of the 500 to 900 skill quant and how much these guys have now improved their driving style. They're fighting now for a lead, a very difficult circuit, very difficult car, and they're making it look effortless out there.
I mean, yeah, I mean, the car, I mean, I drove it a little bit, just trying to get a little bit of a sense of qualifying and all that, just to kind of get me some notes and all that, and it is very hard to drive. You're overdriving the car a lot, more than you think.
It really is. And as we just try to keep you an update on what's happening a bit further down the field, Devil Bevin has now completely got rid of Bellinas and has now turned all his attention to World 7 in 9th. These two separated by about half a second as they come out of that very tricky corner, and look, already he's in the draft. And John said it's in a draft, but I think this may well contradict that idea. He goes to the inside and Devil Bevin takes 9th. He's on an absolute charge.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I mean, there is a little bit, but there's a small hole you can get into with the draft, but I mean, it's not really feasible because of the flatness of the NASCAR turns, NASCAR 3 and 4 and all.
Yeah, and you can just see Andre Passer up in front doing everything he can to keep his car pointing in the right direction. Bit of a wobbly entrant there to turn number 2. Still only one retirement, that comes from Fregel. And he, of course, hitting the wall, damaging the engine, but the driver's putting on a sterling good show. And I think we just had a bit of an incident there with Van Panther, and he's lost a heck of a lot of time. He must have hit the wall, I think. Just as he rejoined the oval, the car squirmed a little from under his control, and he's now a whopping 9 seconds away from the leader, and it's so easy to do a tiny lapse of concentration.
Oh yeah, indeed. Kind of reiterating how hard this combo is right now, this moment.
Yeah, and I think just of course as the race wears on, the drivers tend to get fatigued. We're almost 20 minutes racing distance now. It's very easy to just let your concentration slide as you start thinking about, oh, I'm hungry, or, you know, maybe just I need a drink or two, or I'm wondering how far away the next car is, and you start taking your mind off what's important, and the tiniest error at a circuit as dangerous as Phoenix can really be absolutely crucial.
Yeah, indeed. It's, yeah, I'm one of those that's kind of prone to that at times. And yeah, that Arizona sun can play tricks on you at times.
It absolutely can. Up onto the oval they come once again. No, and this will give actually B13 maybe a bit of breathing space now. He's got 7 seconds back to Van Panther. So all he's going to do is focus on what's in front of him. And that is a very easy decision to make, well, especially compared to having one chasing down as well and bearing down on you at the speed of light, knowing that if you make the tiniest error, you're not only going to lose a chance of a win, but you could very well lose a chance of a podium. B13 can now put all of his attention and focus onto G. Cortesi and make sure he does everything in his power to win this race.
Yeah, that's kind of the benefit of not having anyone in front or behind you. Behind, in the case of B13, you can focus everything, you know, notice, I just noticed I turn a little bit harder, I can make the stick better, and then all of a sudden you have the advantage over him, and you can pass and go for the win, and potentially, if this was an early round or something like that, he could potentially have gone on to win the championship.
Yeah, he really could, but right now it's just all about trying to get as many points as he can, and actually Van Panther has fallen in. Oh, he's hit the wall again! Now that is the second time in as many laps he's encountered that very corner and hit the wall. So is he struggling? Is there a sign now that Van Panther's just trying so hard to recover from that error that he's just making it again and again? And it's that same story. The more you try to fix it, the more it breaks, essentially. It's like you're just trying to hold a hammer with, you know, your hands covered in butter. It's slipping away from you slowly. The more you try and grip it, the more it slides away because you're putting so much focus into doing it. And it's just not quite going to work. You've got to step back, think about it methodically, and reapproach it with a much calmer frame of mind.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say almost at this point he's damaged his, Pan Panther has damaged his car, and now he just sort of needs to back her down and almost come back to limp home mode. As long as he keeps ahead longer at this point, he's got about 10 laps to go at this point. He can very much lose all his positions. He just needs to bring home at this point. Maybe get the goods from what happens between Cortese and B13 if anything were to happen.
Definitely, and as another lap comes under the books, the sun looks absolutely gorgeous in the sky here in the heart of Arizona, but it's still Cortese who's got the best view. The sun rays beaming down on him. We'll be hoping there's someone watching over him because he's putting in a blinding performance, but we do have another battle forming slightly further behind. It is for 9th again. Devil Bevin now looking to pass Andre and get himself into the top 8. He's been on an absolute warpath.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. He really needs to, though. But he needs to be careful, though, right now, because when you're on NASCAR 3 and 4, if you go wait a little too fast, that wall is waiting for you. And that ain't no safer barrier up there.
Bit of a slide there as well, isn't there? Oh, he almost lost it, and that is a beautiful drift, but Andre Passa goes wide. And I think Wild 7 may punish him for it. He doesn't quite get the momentum needed, but Devil Bevin from what was simply a tragic start to the race, he was involved in that starting collision, has now got himself into the top 8. It's surely a testament to how quick this man really is as well. 7 go to the inside of you and the outsiders to go around that very tight apex, but Wild 7 makes it stick. He just can't afford to lose the inside line, and he doesn't. Wild 7 makes the move stick, so Andre Passa has lost 2 positions in about 4 corners.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just, at that point, you need to really be concerned with everything that's going on. And at this point, he needs to just almost kind of come back and like what I was saying, limp home mode. Because usually if you give up that many positions and that many corners, there's usually something wrong at that point.
Indeed there is, and a quick update on what's happening towards the front of the field. The front 2 drivers still separated by just over a second as they navigate their way around lap number 20 here at Phoenix International Raceway. But what a start it's been for G. Cortese. Has not led a lap so far, that makes sense. He's been in control of this race from the very get-go, and will be looking to stay in control of the race until the very end, and they go over the checkered flag. But B13 been pressuring him consistently all race long. Cortese has not been phased even in the slightest.
Yeah, and like I said, that's what he needs to do. He just needs to focus on what's happening in front, and if he can do that, he can pretty much set sail and just get the win, which would be very good to see him win.
It really would. He's thoroughly deserved it, that's for sure, and only 7 laps stand in his way now as he starts at number 21, a 108.099 that time by for the race leader, as B13 can't quite match him, but nevertheless it's very, very close between the 2 drivers. But so far, has there been a particular driver that stood out for you today?
I think really Devil Bevin for coming back on that warpath that he did and come back as far as he did. But overall, I would say, or let me rephrase, for the short run it'd be Devil Bevin for going on the warpath to come back to where he did. But overall it would be Cortese for maintaining such a solid race from after being challenged for 21 laps now, coming on 22 by B13A6 at the moment.
His racecraft has just been absolutely impeccable, isn't it? He's not really had a shadow of a doubt in the back of his mind that he could lose this race. It's been all-out assault from the get-go as he starts at number 22 or 27. 6 more endeavours of the circuit to go here in Phoenix, and he's already got now 29 seconds back to PA and P4, so he's done an extremely good job keeping his car at the front of the field, ignoring all the pressure from the start. And it's very difficult at the start of the race at Phoenix when you've got all of those cars snaking around behind you through those opening corners. But as Andrew goes to the inside of PA, this is over P4, PA's just able to keep his car pointing in the right direction, but very, very barely, as Lounger does everything in his power to push him forward. PA, it's all about the clutch now. These final few moments can be so dividend. And as he almost goes wide, Lounger to the inside again, but PA will carry the speed through the next corner and will just temporarily hold on to that position.
Yeah, but right now I'm more worried about what Lounger will do to him, because we've seen what happened when Lounger gets annoyed and all, or at least that's what I've known. So very much we potentially could see something really big happen right now. So that's what I'm excited to see, is how Lounger will take the situation.
Not really a lot of time left to go though for this race to be decided, so it's all about now just keeping a lid on the tin of anger if he does possess it, but can he? It's kind of, the thing is for Lounger, if he's been driving aggressive all race long, he's going to drive even more aggressive, and that can get quite dangerous when you're attacking another driver and you start to get frustrated because you can't find a way through, and that is one of the beauties of the Phoenix circuit. But at 23 of 27, and it's still PA that retains control of the battle in fourth position, just almost clipping the bollards there though. That was almost about an inch away, and Lounger is getting scarily close to the back of him.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of saying, is if Lounger can get his bumper to him, that's going to be the worrying case. But if PA can keep Lounger behind him and keep him far away enough they can't get his bumper to him, he'll probably will be safe.
Absolutely, but he's got a great run as he comes down. You can see what Lounger's trying to do now, just experimenting with different methods of trying to gain an advantage, maybe starting up higher, dropping deeper through the turn, and as they cross the line to start at number 24, he's going to be thinking a little bit wider than that, because 0.4 seconds separate them as they go very wide there. The car almost sideways, the tyres squeal in absolute pain through turn number 2. It's so difficult to get this corner right. PA's doing a courageous job at defending right now.
Yeah, but Lounger is doing what you would all probably do at some point if we can't get by somebody. We then try and experiment and do like what I was saying earlier, see if I can maybe turn that corner a little bit harder, or get off the gas a little bit better and rotate the corner better, or get on the brakes at a different point, see if that'll help. And ultimately, he's running out of time though, but if he can find something that works, then he can get that position back. Maybe. Or PA can make a mistake like right there.
Definitely, and oh, look at this as Lounger tries to go towards the outside, and look at that, even when coked up right under that rear bumper, there was still nothing he could do, and that is such a challenge for these drivers. He was pretty much under the rear bumper giving him a bump draft, and he could still not find a way past, and that is what makes Phoenix so special. To the outside again now, running out of laps. We've only got 3 more to go here at Phoenix International Raceway, and that battle for 4th place could really belong to any one of them, and Kappa Bomber's only a couple of seconds away watching. Even Kappa Bomber could be a part in this one.
Oh yes, indeed, that's very much the case, especially if Lounger were to employ what we in NASCAR call the bump and run, and instead of rattling his cage, he actually spins him and all that.
And PA just doing everything he can to not let that happen, running as close to the bollards as he humanly possible, well, will let him. Lounger again is trying to cut back underneath, and by doing that, he's going to lose a bit of drive, and PA knows that as he almost clips the wall there, does Lounger, and that could have ended again in tears. But in terms of the battle at the front of the field, the penultimate lap underway, and it's a 5-second gap then between P1 and P2, and that's going to be comforting now for the race leader. He knows how much hard work he's put into this, and surely now it's all going to be reaping the rewards.
Indeed, yeah. Ortezi looks to be best, still looking very good right now. As I'm still watching the battle for 4th right now.
It's all starting to get pretty heated back there as PA just having to think very much in a different frame of mind now, because it's all about the clutch. There's only a couple of laps left to go, and you cannot put a money on who's going to win this battle. PA's defended solidly all afternoon, but Lounger just needs that one run, that one mistake, and this race can all change very, very quickly indeed. find the apex there again. And here comes
I have it.
Lounger. I think he's gone to the inside.
He's got
This
it.
could be the move to the side. He has, but back underneath comes Mr. PA.
Yeah,
Very smart. Oh, they
Oh.
collide. But PA with some very smart driving. Maybe a bit of an aggressive nudge as well, but very, very smart there by Mr. PA. Allowing the position, get the cut back, and resume racing. Very smart indeed.
Good job, PA. But he's given up. He's gone too wide. Let's see if Lounger can get him on the inside to turn one. He has a chance. He has a chance. Lounger needs just to cover himself if he can. As long as he can keep PA on the outside and get clear of him, he's got it. He's got it.
Yes, Lounder takes forward. It's all down to PA. Then he's going to very quickly switch frames of mind. No more defending. It's about all-out assault as he comes towards the end of this race. The final lap is well underway. We've got to keep an eye on our race leaders as well because very shortly they will be coming towards the end of their race. G. Cortese onto the oval section right now.
PA and Lounger. I wouldn't be surprised if they wind up fighting by the end of this because this is an all-out grudge match. Good Lord, I haven't seen NASCAR races less fighting than this. I think
Cortese over the line, he wins. Yeah, Cortese does win by 2 seconds. So G. Cortese is the race winner. 27 laps led out of 27, pole position and the fastest lap. He's done the Grand Slam, and what a win indeed. But Van Panda third, and this is the battle we need to watch. It's PA, it's Lounger, and PA just gets it. Wow.
PA just got that, but Lounger will not be a happy camper after that. If this was actual racing, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a battle in the pits after that.
Wouldn't surprise me as Capabomber crosses the line in 6th, Luke Sky 7th, Devil Bevan in 8th place, Wild 7 9th, and Ondrick Pasta in 10th with Bolinas in 11th, Litos 12th, Mergia in 13th place, and Fregawa, only retirement there in 14th, so only one retirement, but what a drive that was by G. Cortese.
Indeed, that was very good, very solid, just clean and beautiful and good.
Indeed, so we'll be back very shortly at Cadwell Park for your Simraceway Sunday race-off number 54 from myself, Liam Jenkins, and my co-commentator John Daniels. We'll see you on the other side of the pond very shortly. Hello everybody and welcome back to the other side of the pond here at Cadwell Park here in the UK, where the Sunday race off 54 about to get underway. It was Canado that took pole position and an impressive qualifying debut in front of Gargo, where Mr. PA and the Flow. Liam Jenkins alongside John Daniels in the box, calling you all of the action here from this historic British circuit as we now wait for those 4 red lights to go out. Canado looking to try and turn a first pole in his first race into a first win. Not many drivers have done it, but he looks to start the right way. We've had a terrible start there, what looks like to be from Mr. PA, sunk right back down the order, already been dwarfed there by Mr. Jolly, running out of room as they make their way in towards the first corner. Canado still leads.
Yeah, indeed, very tight coming up through these corners. They still need to be careful out there. There still could be a very big accident that comes through at this moment.
There was a little bit of bodywork flying off one of the Mazdas. I'm not too sure where it's come from. It was definitely in the lower third of the field, but either way, the drivers make their way up this very tricky hill for the first time today. The Flow's still on the inside of Gargo, where looking to try and turn this into a manoeuvre, and it should be a fairly simplistic one at that, but Gargo where holding on very, very strong, and a nice courageous move around the outside, maybe giving us a bit of a preview as to maybe what he's going to be like driving a bit later on today, that he's not going to be surrendering as easy as he once thought. He's now up in second place, of course, as the Flow comes under attack from Lazarus, but still very close together at this early stage. Lazarus almost lost the car under braking there.
Indeed, that's kind of just showing up the weak, I'm not going to say weak, but hard to brake car that this is, the MX-5.
Yeah, very difficult to control indeed as they make their way up now through the last section of the circuit. And what could be one of the most pivotal points during this race is the draft you get down here as Tomcat and PA looks to try and attack Mr. Jolly in 7th. Through they go, but still just can't get close enough just yet. There's no way you're going to pass through this section of the circuit into the double right-hander at the... Oh, and he's actually just collected. I think that must have been Mr. Jolly as well. Yes, it was. So Mr. Jolly hit the Flow, and that's a terrible, well, an unfortunate event, isn't it? The Flow was doing so well up there.
Yeah, that was a bit bad, yeah.
As Canado still retains the lead at the end of lap number 1. It's Gargo where in P2 that we may need to keep an eye out for. The front two have already pulled away 6 seconds over Lazarus in 3rd position. Skyd makes his debut in P4. He's already got a bit of a train forming behind him, hasn't he? Almost like the sort of guide service, because you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all looking to try and put a move on him. The man who currently inherits P4 is now trying to overtake Lazarus, but not quite as close as he'd like to be there as he looks to try and break into the podium positions.
Yeah, indeed. Very good debut for him right here on the Sunday race-offs at the moment.
In fact, both debutants doing really well actually, aren't they? You've got the race leader, and then you've got Skyd. He's trying to prove his worth, and he's lost it.
Spun.
And he's luckily saved it. He luckily saves it. Oh, and Jolly spins. Oh, he hits him. And Mr. Jolly's race goes from bad to worse. He's down to 9th. And just as he thought that man was getting his race back under his own control again, something like that happens.
Yeah, rookie mistake and then just chain reaction right there. Very horrible, but that's very likely to happen on any circuit.
It really is, and Gargo now attacking Canado, gets very loose over the bump, but doing absolutely everything in his power now to apply pressure to the rookie. Canado's done a very impressive job in his opening couple of laps, but it's going to take a lot more than that to hold off Gargo for a further 15 laps. But I think we should just have a commentator's curse on what happened with Skyd, and update on to where he is at the moment. He's down in P7, taking on Blitz, so that's going to be an intriguing battle to watch. They cross the line now to start their 3rd lap of the circuit, but Skyd, it could have gone a lot worse for him. He's lucky to still be as high up as he is, I think.
Oh yeah, indeed. He's very much lucky to still even be going after being hit by Jolly there. Of course, that was a favor he was doing, but yeah, he still should be happy that he's even going. He could have had the engine damage from when Jolly hit him.
And now looking to prove that that car's got no damage whatsoever. He goes to the inside there of Blitz. That is for 6th position. And he rides the apex very nicely indeed. Closes out the manoeuvre with a nice swift shut of the door. And that does not look like rookie driving to me. That is very professional stuff from the debutant.
Oh yeah, indeed. Better than what I was doing in my debut. I'll certainly say that.
And as they make their way down the hill once again. A very, very impressive start here. It's got to be said by the driver towards the front of the field, but Tomcat breaks into the top 5. He was 8th a few laps ago, so really taking advantage of all the mishaps around him, and that's exactly what makes a good racing driver.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, indeed, yes. You mean to be able to take advantage of what you can, where you can. As Flo takes just now passes Blitz coming up the 2nd jump there.
Yeah, he goes very wide on the grass, and that's a very difficult thing going off of that jump. You know that it's a circuit shoots down from you.
Gargoyle just passed Canardo for the lead coming out of the final corner there. I think he must have got a good run coming out of the Woodlands area.
And Canardo has got to try and take this one back as soon as he can, because Gargoyle may just run away with this one. Takes a bit of grass there, doesn't he, going through turn 1? That's intriguing, to say the least. But Canardo's got to stay with him now. If Gargoyle gets into clean air, then that could be the end of that then. But they've still got Lazarus a few seconds back. You've got PA there just 4 seconds back from the race leader. So still very tight scenes here in the top 5. Just 8 seconds separating the entire top 5 drivers at this early stage. But Canardo's got to try and find something, and he's got to try and find something quick.
Oh, indeed. I mean, time is running out for them. And he needs to pounce now or say goodbye. And kind of almost in a mirror representation of what I had. I mean, it wound up being like 26 seconds or something, the gap. So he needs to kind of try and keep that gap close and possibly come back to win. I mean, he has the speed. He's proven that. He just needs to put the consistency together and get a good run and pass him back.
That's also going to be a very difficult task when you've got Lazarus 16 just applying the pressure, bringing down the pressure hammer as the laps go by. He's already got that lead down to just 2 seconds between those drivers now. And every outside shot you can just see that pack of Lazarus, PA and Tomcat getting closer and closer to the back of the rookie as they make their way down through the last part of the circuit once again. It looks to me like Canardo's going to be under a lot of pressure in a very short space of time.
Oh yes, I mean indeed. That's so true, especially in that woodland section. You can make a gap or break a gap very easily through there. I mean, just as quick as that.
And as they make their way over the line once again, Gargoyle completes his 4th lap of the race. Starts lap number 5 and still in the top 6. Separated by much at all, and Blitz is retired. Now I'll try and bring you an update onto what's happened there as soon as we can. The man was in. That's interesting. Looking at the pit lane and the way that car's placed, there's no real damage to the car.
Indeed, but of course, looks can be deceiving. Very much so. He potentially could have hit one of the few barriers at this place that we pointed out at the top of the broadcast earlier in one of the races, and actually got some engine damage or something.
Definitely a conceivable option, but right now Gargoyle trying to really open up that gap. He's got about 2 or 3 seconds at the moment, but nothing quite solid as Lazarus further brings the pressure. He's pulling away from PA in 4th, and PA, having just come out of the race a minute ago, completely different car now, completely different track. How hard is it to adapt to that sort of situation?
It's not necessarily all that hard, but if you give like a good amount of time, like say a day or two, like the best example I can think of is like doing a dirt ass Sunday race off after you've done like all you've done is tarmac. It takes a couple of hours once you get back used to it, but immediately a change, unless you haven't practiced, then it isn't all that hard. But if you like haven't done it for a long time and you haven't practiced or anything, then it's very much hard to do. All about track time and practice and all that.
It really is, and towards the end of lap number 5 come the top 5. Lazarus 3rd behind the rookie Canardo, who's holding strong at the moment. And he is in fact keeping Gargoware under control. He's not letting him escape just yet. The gap remains just over 2 seconds at this stage.
Yeah, and if he can just, even if he can maintain that, he could almost chalk that up as a victory in a sense. But I think if he can get a good runners run over these next couple of corners, he potentially has a good chance right here. I mean, he's shown he's very good. I mean, Gargo got him in the Brooklyn section, or Woodland section, excuse me. So, you know, if he can go ahead and get him now, when he's weak, then, you know, he can go ahead and then be ready in the Brooklyn Woodland section to brace for a defense.
And I'll tell you what, out of nowhere, Canado's launched all over the back. He's had a very good run coming out of there, and Lazarus has had a terrible run. He's in the wall.
Oh, Lord.
And he just had too much oversteer. The car steered away. And I think to me, Canado had the exact same, but was able to control it and snap it back. Lazarus was not so lucky. He's pulled over, and that's a retirement for Lazarus 16.
Oh.
And that's such a pity as well.
Yeah, that's very sad to see from him, because he's a really good guy and all that.
Well, look at this as well. Sorry to interrupt. Skyd has got up to P4. He's just made a pass on Tomcat 458. So the man, well, the other rookie in this race today, he was as low as 7th earlier on. A few laps later, is back up to 4th.
Yeah, I mean, that just shows how much talent this guy's got right now. I wouldn't, if Gargoware is holding up Canardo as much as I think he is, Guy could look to be the ultimate underdog at this point. If he can just get by PA quickly and then latch on to the other two, he has a chance to win this race. Mark my words.
Oh, he does, and you've got to admire the guy's sheer race pace. It's been unrelenting, and he's already looking for a move on Mr. PA now. PA's already on the grass. He's running a bit scared as Skyd gets so close. This is going to be, I think, a hot prospect to the future. It's his first race is in a B race of the 900 to 1100 skill quant. I'll tell you what, the next championship we have, if this man's in it, we're going to see some fierce competition towards the front of the field. He opens up to the inside. PA pushes in for track. That doesn't even faze him. It doesn't even intimidate him. He sends one up the inside. And what a move. PA sent him off the circuit, saying there was no way he was going to get through. Skyd, there's no other way to describe it, but balls of steel on the young boy. Absolutely remarkable stuff.
Good Lord, I'm screwed at this point. I've got to race this guy next championship.
Absolutely incredible.
I mean, seriously. If he's got all this speed and balls of steel, as we're calling it now, I mean, we're screwed here at this point. I mean, yeah, mark my words, he's coming, and he's got a full head of steam. If he can just control the car.
Yeah, he's already proven his car control earlier on. He had a bit of an unfortunate incident, but now we're going to see his true pace shine through if he's got that indeed, because right now Canado is still fighting with Gargoware. If Skyd can catch these guys and really play a factor into this, then we're going to see one hell of a second half for this race. That was probably one of the best moves I've seen in a very long time here in Simraceway, and this young man is going to bring a lot of excitement and a lot of hype around the next championship.
Yep, and a lot of problems for us, but he's got a long way to go if he wants to still win that race. I mean, Canardo, I think, has realized what's happened and is now really pushing Gargoware at this point to either A, go faster so that way he doesn't get passed by Skyd, or to B, potentially overtake him and go ahead and run out and before Skyd can overtake him himself.
Already pulled out quite a stitch, and we'll keep an eye on what's going on with the lead next time by, and especially in terms of lap times as well. But Canado round the outside of Gargoware, giving him everything he had, but almost ran out of road. Was very lucky not to, in fact, and luckily kept that car pointing in a straight line. But my goodness me, we knew we were going to have an absolute belter on our hands here today at Cadwell Park, but I don't think any of us quite expected the circumstances to play out the way they have.
Indeed, there's a lot that's been happening. No, good Lord. I think Skyd's cut the gap even more at this point.
Very true, very, very true. But right now, it's all got to be about what Canardo can do. So if you look right on board with him and how close he is to the back of Gargo, where he's doing everything in his power to keep this under control. It's all about now just consistency. He cannot fault, he cannot make a tiny error. Otherwise, this could all fade away very quickly. But we're over halfway now as we approach lap number 9 of 17. And a bit wide there for Gargo, as Canardo runs him through the very forest. And look how narrow that road is. It's like an old country road going off the motorway. But down the main straight once again, Gargo still retains the lead, but not by a massive margin. In fact, that is by nowhere near a comfortable margin. A 150.3 for Gargo, a 150.7 for Canardo, and a 149.3 for the man in third place, Sky at 87. Absolutely remarkable.
He is on fire right now. I mean, just reiterating the point you're saying about sheer race pace. I mean, this guy is like at least has been at least half a second faster than the top two these past few laps. I mean, he's on a warpath right now. If he can just get to them and get by, this would be his race. Trust me right now.
I believe we've got some technical difficulties at the moment. I've seemed to appear to lost all of the cars on the circuit, but oh, there we go, they're back again, vaguely. They're just sort of all running a bit wide. My connection's not been the greatest today, unfortunately, but something that has been the greatest, as we said, is Sky's pace. He's absolutely flying right now, and he's cut that lead down already to just a couple of seconds. It's only been a few laps since he's dispersed to Mr. PA. What is this man going to do when he catches Canardo?
Well, these are two very young and talented rookies, so it's very much going to be a case of who is the better driver, and who's had more experience and whatnot, which is kind of a bit of an oxymoron as they are both rookies, but both more experience in that they are both rookies, but more experience in that they have learned what they can at this moment.
Yeah, this has already been an incredible afternoon of racing so far, and it's only set to improve because right now, this gap is going to come rocketing down again, isn't it? Let's just take a look. Gargo at 149.7, much better from the race leader. A 150.0 from Canardo and a 149.2. It's remarkable. It's faster and faster. I've never seen such relenting pace before from a rookie in his opening race. I mean, even if he stays in third and he can't catch the two leaders, he's got to be a contender for driver of the day just from the sheer comeback that he's had.
Oh yes, I mean, indeed. I mean, if he hadn't gotten in bad in when he did, he probably would. He probably would be in the lead at this point. And it looks like Fregel's retired at this point now. But yeah, I mean, of course, if he didn't spin, he probably wouldn't have had the driver that he's had right now. To be honest with you.
A very good point as Tomcat tries to maybe look for a move on the flow. We're on that 10 of 17 here at Cadwell Park in the penultimate race of the evening. And what a perfect build-up to the A race. And what I would love to see personally is the entire top 4 race in the A race if possible at some point, or if circumstances permit or there aren't enough drivers. That would honestly be a very, very exciting race. You've got 2 rookies, 2 drivers who've come alive in recent weeks, and then the entire class of the A race of the 900 to 1100 skill quant. That would honestly be a fantastic race to view, and honestly a commentator's dream. Well, not as much my throat's dream. I think that would be craving some hot water and careful TLC after that one. But oh, careful TLC for Canardo, and he spun and lost it, and that is not what he wanted to do. A rookie error, unfortunately. It's very easily done at that corner though, John. Very tight apex.
Oh yes, indeed. You've got so much speed and you're carrying so much. I mean, you're getting hang time off that jump over there, to be honest with you. But you gotta just be careful there. You gotta better control the car there. And I think Scott and Gargo have done it better than he is. I hate to say it. I think that was just commentator's curse right there. I hate to say that. But now that's one person out of the way for Scott. Let's see if he can potentially cut down the gap. He's got like 7 laps to go now.
And honestly, now because of the departure of our recently new acquired favourite rookie driver. He's already down 2 P. Oh, he's up there. He's in the pits. Canano's in the pits.
He must have gotten... Oh. Yeah, he must be spinning to get the damage fixed, but... a little bit redundant, sadly.
Now the question is, I mean, is he going to be able to get back out or no? Is this going to be... Oh, he is off, so he is carrying on, the man in P7. So he isn't going to give up just yet. He's going to continue fighting until the very end, which is great to see in a first appearance. But what this means, though, however, is that now he's down out the way, he's sort of dispersed because of the error. It has allowed Sky to have a complete clear shot at a race victory. He's 3 seconds adrift. We know he's quicker than the race leader. But with 7 laps to go, can he convert this into a victory?
He's got time. I mean, he just... and once he gets closer, we'll see where he and Cargo are better and weaker. But now, it's really just a case of experience, rookie talent, and / sheer talent over experience and knowledge that the Gargoyle has at this point. And he ran, and just then, Sky just ran over a whole second faster than him on that lap. I mean, he is just eating at this point.
Aaron just taking a look at pace already. Hasn't really gained so much in the first sector, but one battle we haven't really kept an eye on is that one between the Flow and the man chasing him, Tomcat 458. Tomcat again, very good start, has not really relented at all. He's been very quick, very hasty in pushing his way through the field. He's a P5 at the moment, 2.7 seconds away from the Flow, but the man in P3 actually, Mr. PA, is not that far away from Sky either. Now PA's got some great pace. Again, we've seen that earlier on. We've seen it in many different races throughout his Simraceway career. Has he got a little lace up his sleeve here?
Potentially. I mean, of course, Sky is still a rookie. That does not mean he is free from rookie mistakes, which means he could still potentially accidentally take out Cargo or do something stupid like that. That just needs to be kind of think a little bit and be careful. I'll still giving it 100%, 1200% kind of thing.
He's really got to be on top of his game right now. Let's compare lap times as they approach the final few corners of the mighty Cadwell Park circuit. And what an evening it's been so far. We've still got the best to come, and we really cannot wait for this. But as Gargoyle makes his way over the start-finish line in just a moment's time, let's give you an update on what the lap times are of the current drivers who inhabit your top 3 at the moment. Will they be as close as we suspect? A 150.4 for Gargoyle, a 150.1 for Sky, and a 150.2 for PA. So both drivers in second and third faster than the leader, but PA faster than Sky.
Actually, he's a little slower.
I mean, would you put this down to maybe just thinking, like, obviously PA's got a lot more experience in a situation, and Sky, if he ever drives a car and you get too aggressive as a rookie, it's very easy to burn yourself out, essentially. Do you reckon Mr. PA has just maybe kept a little bit of pace back, a little bit of energy back for all that focus on the last stint?
That's potentially. I mean, a driver who'll plan good will do that kind of thing. I'll say Sky is kind of more focused on giving it all at this moment because he needs to go ahead and cut down that gap. Because, like I said, was reiterating earlier, this is a sort of standalone race. You know, you can go and get, quote, quick money and all. So, that gives you a very big chance to kind of get a lot of fame and glory quickly and still kind of not all have to worry about that much about being a championship and go for the gaps that you really wouldn't in, say, like the all-wheel drive championship or something like that.
And definitely the gap sort of stabilised. In fact, all drivers separated by 3 seconds each. So they've all sort of spaced themselves out now, maybe driving their own races. We've still got a little bit of racing left here as we approach lap number 14 out of 17.
Yeah, but God still needs is showing a little bit of rookie mistakes at this moment. Just back there at Brooklands, not Brooklands, I keep saying that, the Woodland section, excuse me. He's getting a lot of bad air off that, and that's really killed him right there. I mean, they were dead even, only 1/1000th of a second 1 1,000th of a second separated the two right there at the end.
Indeed, is Skied still just trying everything he can to stay with him. Mr. PA dropped back a little as well. The flow's only 13 seconds away, having dispersed of Tomcat quite recently. We've still got a little bit left in this one. Maybe a few more tales left to be told at Cadwell Park.
Yeah, indeed, there's still the battle. Our new favorite adopted rookie, Skied 87 here, possibly passing him or just even closing the gap at this moment. But I think Gargo's left that little something in the tank there. That's just why we haven't seen him cut down the gap as more than we should. We have than say like Canardo.
Very true. Is looking off Canardo anyway. We said he was getting back in the race. He's spun again, actually, and that's just being caught on camera there. So almost went under the radar. That's going out of turn number 15. That's the same corner, conveniently, John. That's the same corner we had the first incident.
Yeah, I mean that's a very hard corner. It's kind of reiterating what I was saying. You've got through the woodland section. You're on brakes, all, and you're slinging the car over these hills, and then trying to get planted quickly, and then get quickly planted, turned, rotated, and on the throttle again to get you set up for that next part of that right-hander. And you've got all that to do, and it's very easy, especially for a rookie, for one who has not done this a lot, to have that cut down. And that was a big gap big amount of time Scott just took out of Gargo where about 3 or 4 laps to go right now. He still has a chance right now. Alright, I think he's gaining. He's got a little bit of a slipstream up here now. So that's potentially going to help him, but he needs to go ahead and either get a good gap now so that he can burn it a little bit when he goes through the woodland section. Gargoware is looking better through there right now than Sky at the moment. But I think in this points where the car is losing grip at this moment, it's coming from a kind of the technical last point. It seems Sky is sliding the car less and not making it work as much, while Gargo is kind of better controlling the car in the slide at this point. Right now, as they come through the woodland section, this is close as he's been. This is closest he's been. He's there. He's got a chance. Coming up to 2 laps to go now. Coming up 16 of 17. He can use the bumper through here. He can use the bumper through here, or he can use a clean overtake. He's got the draft now. Ooh, bad move there. He'll have the outside coming on the left-hander. He bails quickly. Smart move, but let's see if he can undercut him. Force Gargoware high. He's got it. He's got a chance there. Oh, come on. Oh, man. That just burned his chance going up the hill there. He lost momentum. And that's everything in this car. That's everything in this car at this moment. Coming up here to make the right-hander. Oh, the flow's left again. He must have had something happen to him. Very unfortunate loss for us at the moment. Okay, I think my partner has lost connection or something. I'll try and fill in for the rest of the race. Anyway, alright, they're coming up through them. Alright, they're coming up through. That was a better run for Sky right there. If he can just get it. He just needs that one little opening right there. And the tension and desperation is high at this moment. He knows he's there. Gargo knows that as well. I mean, it's very... car isn't that wide, but it's very easy to tell. Let's see. He just needs to have a good run. He just needs a good run. That killed him right there. Catching that too much curb right there. He needs to be a little bit more to the left. That's what's setting up him for a bad section right here. looks like Gargoyle will get some good speed over that. Planted turn. He's got him. He just needs to use the bumper. If he could use the bumper, he could push him out a little bit, use the bump and run at this point. Alright, they're coming up the front straight. 1 lap to go. Sky was slower that time by about 0.3 of a second. PA still in third. Tomcat 458 is still in fourth. Oh, that was a bad move by Sky there. He went wide coming on that right-hander. That probably killed his chance for coming up here. That was his best overtaking opportunity. Bernardo is still in sixth. They're running behind. Flo, Fregel, Lazaro, 16 Blitz are your entire OREs at this moment. Just clicking over the 30-minute mark for the leaders. That's a great run right there coming up there, that right-hander. If he can set him up for a pass right here, if he can either get him wide or get him at the bottom of the hill, he's got it. He's there. He's got the chance. Oh, come on, quit doing that wrong. You messed that up, boy. Okay, come on down the hill. You got to brake. You got to be careful on the brakes here. Oh, good run for Garga. Oh, he went wide, and so did Scott. That was a... Oh, no. Oh, that was painful. That was painful to think of. Guy got on the throttle too early. He spun. PA second and gave knocked Sky down the third. That was a great battle right there. I hate to see that happen, especially from a driver's point of view. That was a really good battle right there. But that was, sadly, I hate to admit this, that was a rookie mistake. I think the Cinderella coach started turning back into a pumpkin there as the clock was striking 12. It looks to be Gargoware who wins your 900 to 1100 B race from here across the pond in Cadwell Park. Bister PA second, and you're rounding out your podium with Sky 87 in third. That was a great performance by him, and great performance by our rookies today. Although it's rattled with rookie mistakes, that was a very good performance from him. We are I'm very much screwed as a racer in this, and Tomcat 48 crossed the line for fourth. You're very much screwed as racers in this class now because of him. We've got a new competitor, and very much so well, I'm trying to think of it. With his talent and sheer bravery as it is, Canardo is about to start heading into the woodland section. But I mean, that was nothing to sneeze at. That was a wonderful performance right there. He had a shot for the lead. He was taking chances that none of us would have taken, and he did that. That was the important thing. That was nothing to sneeze at. That was a very good run. That's coming from, and this is coming from a driver who's podiumed many times in this class. And even won one time, and ultimately lost it due to the fact that I gave up the win to go to the A race in that category. And now as Canardo comes on the front stretch now, at the moment, cross the line and round out the field. From me, John Daniels, and my good colleague and great friend Liam Jenkins, we'll see you for the next race, which is the 900 to 1100 A race. For the moment, sayonara, auf Wiedersehen, and goodbye.
User in your channel timed out. User entered your channel.
Hello everybody and welcome back to your final race of the evening here on your Simraceway Sunday race-off for week number 54. We saw a brilliant race in the B race just a few moments ago, and now we get to see some of the most talented drivers in all of Simraceway battle it out over 26 laps around the legendary Cadwell Park circuit. Myself, Liam Jenkins and John Daniels in the commentary box calling all of the action for you, and what a session it could well be. Taking a look actually at the qualifier as to where the drivers who entered that got themselves involved, and seeing how the relative pace matches up. I'm telling you what, John, it's going to be a very, very interesting race. Van Panther, the favourite, led the qualifier with a 147.642. Asa Ricola just behind, then Cortese, then Kepu the Legend, Sean 24 and AGO 6, rounding out your top 6. And again, Van Panther looking fast though. He's not the fastest man out there at the moment. He's about 1.5 tenths of a second off. But one man who's come into this session, and he's back there again, is Skyd 87. He's 5 seconds off the pace at the moment. But after what we saw in the B race, I mean, as we said before, we were really anticipating to see what he can do in a big field. Do you think he can deliver it on a stage as big as this?
Well, he delivered on the minor field, so let's see what he can do. Of course, you know, rookie mistakes and all that, that's what ultimately cost him in the race yesterday.
A very... But yeah, it's all about now. Asa Ricola's there P7 as well. Now, he's only 600th of a second away from AZ Best, and of course those two have a bit of a love-hate relationship. If you remember back to Indianapolis, where AZ Best pulled out that miraculous no-fuel stop to bring Asa Ricola and Michigan's title charge to a halt almost, and send it to one final round showdown. And honestly, I think there must be a little bit of bittersweet symphony between those two. I mean, two very respected drivers. Asa Ricola, the all-round powerhouse, the sort of Batista almost of the Simraceway world, just absolutely relentless. Some brilliant pace, brilliant racecraft, rarely puts a foot wrong. And AZ Best, just sort of the underdog there, the very smart one, very conniving, great strategy, and that in turn earned him a victory. There's a lot of good drivers in this field, all have different qualities which make them so special. But it's all going to be about who can really manage their qualities the best. As they go over the line now, Asa Ricola looks to try and get himself higher. He goes third. Still half a second away from Van Panther though, but even so, second row of the grid for one of Simraceway's finest drivers.
Oh yeah, indeed. Of course. Yeah, I mean, qualifying is still everything, but you could easily, somebody could easily make a mistake. You know, Kepu or Van Panther. Or as I say that, like that's likely, which is not very likely in this case. I mean, this is like the top brass for Simraceway. I mean, even them have them, let me rephrase it, for have them even think about there possibly being a mistake is like saying, is very rare from what I know. Asa Ricola still has a very good chance to either to possibly get pole or just to go ahead and...
Oh, and he had a moment there, and now only 27 seconds left. He can't. It's not possible. He had a moment coming out, I think it was turn number 7. The car snapped away from him, and because of that, he's now going to watch the rest of this session from the pit lane. Third is the absolute highest he will start today.
Yeah, but that's still a very good position to win from. I mean, Guide 87 proved that you can win from almost anywhere in the sense with the last race.
Very, very true. As we wait for the session to tick to a close then. The checkered flag is out, which means drivers do get to finish their current laps. Still going to be very, very, I think, intriguing to see if anyone can maybe break into that top 5 now. Cortese just outside. The man who had a very impressive run earlier on. Into maybe just try and put another one over on the A-class drivers once again. We'll see what he can do after what was simply a marvellous run in the Subarus. It's got to be said, the man's just got some brilliant pace again. His racecraft has improved very much after I'd say the last couple of months or so. He's almost like a completely different driver now, a lot more conservative, a lot more thoughtful as he goes into the corners, and it's certainly a very good position just outside the top 5 at the moment.
And our new favorite rookie, Scott 87, put in a good lap. He's now up to 11th now, a little over 1.5 seconds on Kepo at the moment. It's a very good shot. Even breaking into the top brass in the Simraceway's 900 to 1100 A race.
Very true, as Cortese, bit of a lock-up into the penultimate corner, but this is a drive you've got to watch. Kepi the Legend's going to go over the line now. He's already on pole. What more damage can he do as Van Panther's only a tenth of a second away?
Well, there's still everything to play for at this moment, but I don't think he improved.
No, he did, and that's a real shame as well. It could have been so much greater, but Kepi the Legend will take pole position. Very well deserved as well, isn't it? As Cortese's finished his lap. I think that's pretty much the rest of the field. Yes, it is. So, Kepi the Legend with legendary pace. Van Panther continues his form where he left off in the qualifiers, and we'll be back here with you very shortly for the full 26-lap endeavour of Cadwell Park. Hello everybody and welcome back to Cadwell Park for the final race of the evening here in your Simraceway Sunday race-off for week number 54. Liam Jenkins and John Daniels in the commentary box for the race today. Kepi the Legend took a brilliant pole position with Van Panther in second, Lounger third, AZ Best just topped Acer Acola to P4 and he starts in P5. Let's just see though, he will get the nice rundown into the first corner as the 3-4 lights come on. Green flag racing, and Acer gets a terrible start. Grafindel almost able to pull it alongside, but there's just not enough track room as they fly down to the first corner. It's still Van Panther that gains control of the lead.
Very surprising that Van Panther actually got the lead over Kipu. let's see if he can maintain that lead at this moment.
Oh, we've got cars off in the background as well. Cortese went a bit wide, but the main brunt of it came from AGO6. And the man who's now 14th struggles to get back on circuit. Exactly what we were saying earlier on, John, with there's so much runoff room on this circuit, it can take so long to get your car back on the black stuff.
Yeah, you literally have to start worrying about whether you will actually die of old age. In some cases, some are doing.
Guy just about on the outside there, that's 9th. So he's already wrapped that up. The main mover from last race is already pushing his way through the field. He sets his sights on G. Cortese, who's got his front view filled with that's Graf Findel, isn't it? Battling with Baxter Gaber in P6 and P7. Graf Findel almost to the inside, but not quite enough room there just yet as the field get ready to come towards about the halfway stage of the lap. It's Van Panda that still keeps in front of the pole sitter at the moment. Kepi the Legend down to second, knocks a bollard over there, over the curb, and he's not really at the speed we would have liked to have seen for him just yet, but still holds strong. Apart from that, the rest of the order is still the same in the top 5 from the start grid.
Oh yeah, indeed. I mean, apart from the of course, the biggest change is that Van Panther took the lead over Kipu, but still, Cortese looks like he can make a pass in ground over here. Maybe looks like Scott can maybe get good from that if they come up the front straight. But let's see if Van Panther can keep that down, considering this is Simraceway's top brass and all that, and also make a good block and keep it behind and possibly taking what probably be a great win for him today.
Yeah, it really would, and look at all the battling that's going on behind you. You've got Lounger, AZ Best and Asa Acola, all 3 drivers locked in a war over 3rd position at the moment, with Asa Acola doing just about everything in his power to try and keep this at bay. And a very drastic move there by AZ Best almost ends in misery as Asa Acola almost clipped the back end of him, and now you can just see how it's all taking shape because the masterful mind of Asa Acola, the predictable moves of AZ Best, the 2 drivers that we said who've got a bit of a heated history, are now forced to collide with each other once again. We've got Baxter Gaber on his own in P6, then the almighty war for 7th place, which goes all the way back to P10, with Sean 24C barely holding on to the back of Skyd. And Skyd's now got a chance to take P7 if he's lucky. He can get a move on Graf Findel. He's experienced these cars, he knows what he's going to do to overtake, and now got the prime opportunity, probably the best opportunity he's going to have for a while, to get that car through. But it's a lot easier said than done here at Cadwell Park.
Sorry, but indeed, yeah, it's very hard to pass here. I mean, this guy knows that himself. I mean, he couldn't pass. He was trying everything and he couldn't pass the leader for the win in the last race. But now he is over. I almost want to say he's over his head for this first race, but he's doing very well. I mean, but he's being attacked. He's being hounded right now by Sean 24. I think the rookie mistakes are showing up right now.
I see what you mean though. Yeah, I can definitely see what you mean as he tries to go to the inside. However, being a nice lunge, but again, just not quite enough room. The apex tightens up way too quickly for his liking, and you've got to think if he can do this at Cadwell Park, imagine what it could be like at Laguna Seca, a circuit which thrives on drafting and overtaking. It will be a brilliant race to see what he can do, but we'll wait and see what the next championship holds. For now, however, I've got just a slightly weird feeling about all of this because it's trying to go to the inside again, cut off by Graf Findel, who's defending very well, but that entire midfield separated by no more than about 8 seconds.
Indeed. Of course, let's hope he didn't listen to me from what I said last time. I do kind of need to apologize for that, for the last words I said at the end of it, and my suggestions. But then again, I come from NASCAR, so that's a bit of a given. And Cortese overtakes Bacos Gabor, and Bacos comes back out on him. So very much a battle for 6 right there that almost changed hands. Now Cortese's in the clutches of Graf Findel coming up through the little chicane right there, heading up to the jump. The first of 2.
Look at that line of cars. That is absolutely remarkable. As they'll shuffle their way through. Very close racing. Now we thought we'd see close racing, but I didn't think we'd anticipate something out of the British Touring Car Championship. This is what Mazdas are made of, and Sky got a bit of, I think Sky got a bit of a tap there from Sean 24. It wasn't intentional, but there was definitely just a gingerly bit of contact between the two drivers as the pack made their way over the line yet again. All just gonna be a case of who can really make the jump first, because Sky's in ninth now. He's got all those cars up in front. He's got really a chance of third because Lounger is keeping that field held up. He did a 150 last time by. There's drivers there. Graufinkel, for instance, in P8 did a 149.7. Luke Sky in 11th did a 150 flat. There are drivers at the tail end of that pack who are actually lapping faster. Yeah, Sky goes off the circuit, rejoins in P11. So his race has gone slightly downhill since we last checked on him. But interestingly enough, as we say, Lounger is sort of being like the little hold-up here.
And Asbest, I think Asbest has got him. Asbest has got. Oh! Lounger shuts the door on him, slams the throttle and shuts the door on him. Right there. I mean, almost kind of beautiful and ugly pass all in the same way. Lounger went ahead and hit the throttle right there coming at the apex of the corner, and that just canceled Asbest's charge right there. So, I mean, that was yeah, go ahead.
Going to be I think a thrilling battle to watch, and you can just saw as well that ATV's doing everything he can to keep Acer O'Connor at bay now, because Acer as well, this is not an environment we're used to seeing him racing where he's got 6 or 7 cars behind him, he's got 2 or 3 in front to pass. He's normally battling just one-on-one for the race lead. It's where they traditionally think of Acer O'Connor in a battle. It will be for the race lead with one other car. He now finds himself right in the middle of this almighty scrap. And it's almost like a bit of alien territory for him. It's going to be intriguing to see how he adapts and if he can shuffle his way through, because it's going to take a lot of intuitiveness, I think, to bring that car to the front of the pack.
Oh, I mean, yeah, and kind of what you're saying, it reiterates the point that it's hard to pass here. And if you were someone, I'm not going to say Lounger good, but if you can defend like Lounger, then, I mean, you can do what he's doing right now. He is holding up the field. Van Panther and Keeping Legend are running away with this. And now, if they were going to, if they could, and if they were battling at this point, then, you know, very much potentially so, then it would truly kind of be agony as the other two are pulling away slowly but surely at this point.
And Graufinkel, just an update, went to make a move on a Sean 24, but went a bit wide and lost positions to both Sean and the man in front of him, back to Gabriel as well. So Graufinkel down to 9th. Sky to slip down further actually now. He's now finds himself in P12. Trying to chase B13, got alongside on the straight, was able to make the move stick, and off goes back to Gaber. Heavy shunt into the wall. And that car's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, that gives the Sky to 11th position now. That was pity we had to see him go, though.
Yeah, back to Gaber out of the race. It was an almighty shunt in the wall as well. Luckily, it's just only a simulation. The car will be okay, and more importantly, the driver will be. That was a massive collision with the wall.
Yeah, and of course, these Mazdas are tiny, and, well, that was a lot of the speed and a very heavy wall. Which, of course, y'all in England still haven't learned what really use safer barriers like we do here in America. But so
tries to keep the car pointing in the right direction. He's done a good job so far. The man who decimated the qualifier for, well, to get into this race, and is now retaining that pace once again. He was the fastest man by at least half a second, and is now the fastest man on track by about 6 seconds. Cappy the Legend is the man behind him. Lounger's in 3rd, just over AZ Best, and Acer O'Connor in 5th, who's now coming under a little bit of pressure there from G. Cortese.
Yeah, indeed. And just wanted to point out something earlier. I think Keep It Legend is learning how to train for Formula Drift. He was drifting that Miata coming up over the hill back there. Good ways now, but Cortese is looking for an outside-in pass on Acer, and I'm quite frankly surprised that Acer isn't driving as well as he is right now.
Obviously, as we say, very different scenario for him, very different drivers, very different circuit. Of course, this circuit is still relatively new to Simraceway, which means that it's not like if you're new to this series or you're new to the skill quant that you're going to be at a disadvantage because you think, oh, I don't know the drivers, I don't know the car, I don't know the track. Everyone's in the same boat because they're still learning the circuit, they're still learning to adapt, and they're still trying to find out which line works best in a racing environment. And that is why I think we're seeing such a close sense of racing right now.
Oh yes, I mean indeed. I mean, I'm going to go and use a couple of examples, like, oh, and Acer Acola just made a pass on Asbest coming up over the hill there. Now that they're going through the woodland section, now this is a battle shaping up that we need to see. Acer Acola and on Loung. Oh! Asbest spun him! Asbest spun Acer Acola there in that final corner. Sorry, Liam.
No, not at all, as Acer O'Connor drops another position because just couldn't quite get the momentum going. A very sneaky move, I think it had to be said, by Grafindel to put himself in front, and Acer now stays in front of Luke Sky, AZ Best and B13. He looks to further capitalise on the misfortunes of others and push himself a bit higher up the field, but again, easier said than done. So the opening stint to this race has provided quite a lot of action as we're about a third of the way through, and a big wiggle there by Sir Connor the man in P7, and for once we've got a bit of breathing room now as the field started to just space out a little.
Yeah, and just wanted to say was, no hate on Asbest or anything, but it's like I was saying earlier during the 900 to 1100B race, you've got to go over the hill, catch the airtime, land, plant, turn, rotate, and then throttle on, all while avoid not hitting the guy in front or being run over by the guy behind. And for Acer, sadly, he got run over by the guy behind. And I'll be right back for just a moment.
A very difficult scenario indeed, and AC Best are receiving a stop-and-go penalty as trouble in the back. That belongs to Acer O'Connor. He's up again. The man in P12. His race has gone thoroughly backwards, and what a shame that is. Acer O'Connor down to 12th position. And now I think that was inflicted contact again. He's got to try, I think, and push his way a bit further forward right now. Maybe try and get back facing in the right way, but that's so difficult and that's such a shame. Such a demoraliser as well, but we'll see how we can rebound back from this.
Yeah, indeed. I think it's just a case of bad to worse at this moment, Ellie. But then again, this is Acer Acola, so he is capable. I'm not going to make him look like a gun or anything, which of course in America we sort of do, but it does very much mean he'll have a challenge to face. If he could, maybe he could salvage something out this day.
You never know. There's just a long road ahead of him. However, there's still plenty of laps to go, just under 20 before we take the checkered flag, so 19 laps left. Run through of the order at this stage, and it is Van Panther that leads, Kepu second, Lounger third, Cortese in fourth, with Sean 24 rounding out your top five. Grafindel in sixth place in front of Luke Sky and B13, who are dueling away. AZ Best in ninth, Sky in 10th, AGO 6th, 11th, Ace to 12th, DeMagico 13th, and Baxagaba in 14th position.
Yeah. Also, I want to see how Sky is going to take on someone like, say, Acer Acola or AGO 6 at this point. See how he handles them, and if he can keep them at bay. I mean, if he can keep either one or both those drivers at bay, I mean, we are really going to be screwed at this point. Because if he can hold off people like that, oh Lord, we might as well have to show up at that point.
It's going to be very fun to watch as Cortese tries to hold off Sean even further, and as they go over the jump again, Sean just about getting that car straightened up. It was a bit of a chore, but power down nice and early as they come out of the final corner to start lap number 9 of 26. And still Sean looking to try and find a way through. Cortese's holding strong so far, though. He's done so early on. And of course, Cortese used to this situation now after what was simply a very good run earlier on in the 27-lap race at the Phoenix International Speedway.
Yeah, and just wanted to kind of go over what times they're running. Langer ran 149.0. Cortese just ran a 148.78, and Sean just ran a 148.8. So they're the two guys behind. I think Sean's pulled out. He's looking to see if he can pass here. I think he'll do it. It looks like he can do it. Oh, but Cortese outbrakes him. A little bit, just a small minor hair of contact, and Sean's got 4th position. Now, let's see if he can get to Launger and see if he can overtake, or if Launger will prove his blocking dominance, as it seems at this moment, and maintain 3rd.
Aaron, as they make their way down again, look at that fight that's just brewing in the background there. That's for still 7th place with B13 holding off AZ Best in the meantime, still trying to push his way through Luke Sky 80, who's, again, Luke's been one of the drivers who's improved so much in recent weeks. But let's keep an eye on Asa O'Connor as well. He's still currently 12th, barely in front of DiMagico and 10 seconds away from AGO6, so there's still a lot of time left, a lot of work to cover as Asa O'Connor looks to try and turn his race around, but doesn't look like he's been too fortunate. And I think we put a commentator's curse in it. We said he rarely ever makes a foot wrong, or is rarely ever outside the top 5. I think we've just called him on an off day today as he tries to seriously get that race back underway. We'll keep an eye on his lap time very shortly as he enters the final couple of corners.
Yeah, I don't want it to mean or make him. I know the word, I just don't know what it is. But being his fellow countryman and all from the USA, we all know him as very good and very shocking. I think at this moment he's got a little bit heavy on damage, and this is all he can do at the moment. Sadly, I hate to say this.
Yeah, it's a real shame, but he's still managing a 149.3 though, which is a very, very respectable time. And if anyone can hold a torch to that still, even with a damaged car, imagine what he could do with a fully working one. That battle for 7th has now become the battle for 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th, as Sky at 87 once again break back into the top 10. Now this man can just find some consistency. I'll tell you what, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the next championship. But as they go through that group of 4, led by Luke Sky, AZ Best following, then B13, and then Skyed. So it's going to be a game of patience right now. They cannot afford to make a mistake at this point. With 10 laps in, they really cannot afford to start making these tiny errors, because a tiny error at Cadwell Park is essentially a massive error at another circuit.
Oh yes, indeed. I mean, Sky kind of proved that himself. I mean, he took himself out of competition late there on the last lap when he, contact between him and B13. Sadly, he did listen to me. I hate to say this, but now that he's got that shot, B13 is now looking to overtake Asbest coming through the woodlands, and he overtakes on the outside, catches air. Oh my God, you can't do that.
Oh my goodness me, Skied! Oh my goodness me.
Good Lord.
And I think that may have been a bit over aggressive. I don't think that was the smartest move he'll ever make, but it may be one of the most impressive.
Impressive, yes. I think
dangerous, yes.
I think he must be redneck, because he must have a lot of people watching when he did that. He said, "Hey y'all, watch this." Our famous last words in our culture. But now that kind of separates the battle now. Luke Sky 80 now certainly has 7th. B13 now certainly has 8th. Sky almost certainly now has 9th.
And some would regard the move as stupid, but at the same time, you remember, in the wise words of Ayrton Senna, if you see a hole and you don't go for it, then you're no longer a racing driver. And what better way to throw a quote in by the late great Ayrton Senna than on the 20th anniversary of his death just a few days ago at Imola 1994. So from all of us at Simraceway and to everyone at the Ayrton Senna Foundation and his family, our thoughts are with you at this very troubled time of remembrance. But Ayrton truly was one of the greatest racers of all time, inspired a generation, and I think some of that driving may have just shown through in that ambitious manoeuvre there by Sky. But Asa O'Connor is catching these guys at a very rapid rate.
And yeah, if he saw that, maybe he'd be like, "Good Lord, they're that stupid? I might as well just cruise at this point. They're going to take each other out." And Sky does that again. Of course, that's very entertaining for us and very nerve-wracking for the other guys. I'll be right back.
And the drivers just doing everything in their power now to keep their car pointing on the tarmac. It's very difficult on Cadwell Park. The grass is always so inviting there, and Luke Sky still in control of that battle as Van Panther is just starting at number 12 of 26. We are approaching the halfway stage of this one now. Very closely, just a few more laps until we reach that point, but done a nice job so far as Van Panther up at the front of the field. 9 seconds now in front of Kepi the Legend. No real hesitation in the back of his mind. He got in the lead by turn 1, has not turned his back since, and it's really just been a case of him versus Cadwell Park, and a man who's that quick, a man who can dominate qualifying as well as Van Panther, he's always going to be a force to be reckoned with come race day, and that's exactly what we're seeing here today.
Oh, and Scott, I think something happened to Scott and he's left now, but I hate to see that he left and all right now. That'll move Lacer up, Cola up to 11th. I just want to say a couple of things. I hate to say that I'm being in and out right now. At this moment, I'm sort of trying to keep up with the NASCAR race in the moment from Talladega. So that's why you hear me being in and out. But the battle for 7th is very close right now. B13 and Luke Sky 80 at this moment.
Yeah, it really is, and you can just see how well Luke Sky's trying to hold off B13, doing absolutely everything in his power to get past, but as we said before, passing is one thing. A normal circuit, passing at Cadwell Park is damn near impossible as he tries once again to pull to the inside. It's so difficult to get your car there without an error of the other driver, but let's see what B1386 can do. This is the closest he's been for quite some time.
Indeed, right now, but hopefully we'll soon see how much B13 is worn down. Oh, using the bumper there. Good lord, these people are turning into NASCAR people every day at this point. I think my ideologies is now pouring into these people, sadly.
Now B13 surely with the best run in a long time. He's right underneath that bumper. He just can't find the room to the inside. The track's so narrow, it's very difficult to achieve. And I think he's found that one out the hard way. Yes, he has. There's no way he was going to make it through that one. And through the right hander they go. And still Luke Sky maintains the momentum in the battle right now as it's almost separated out a bit. Asa Acola up to P10, Sky 87, the rookie, the hot shot we were talking about just earlier on, is not quite there. He's retired, and that's a real shame because we were really hoping for big things from him today.
Yeah, indeed. I think we've adopted him as our Rookie of the Year at this point right now. Just kind of judging how things have gone at this moment. But just as I said, everything was secure for 7th and 8th and 9th. They're all back to bunched up together and battling again. So, testament to showing how much Luke Sky 80 is sort of holding up the two between with B13 and Asbest at the moment.
Definitely lap number 13 almost coming to a close now for Van Panther as he comes out of the final corner and down the main straight to start his 14th attempt at the circuit. Let's just try to admire what the car's doing, because I think, in all honesty, it was a bit of an error there for Kepi the Legend. Apologies, getting some technical difficulties now. My internet, as we said, has not been the strongest today, but let's just admire the sheer brilliance of Cadwell Park as Cortese tries to approach Sean 24. He's been in that battle for third for quite a while now. He's been chasing Sean all race long. It's a good nearly half an hour now. And then you've got Lounder up in front, minding his own business as well. He's just kept himself at a comfortable distance back to the guys in P3.
Indeed, I mean, done that very well. I mean, I hate to say this, but I got to give it to him. A little bit, as I'm still watching that battle for 7th right now.
It's all raging on at a very rapid rate. Cortese again to the inside, not quite enough speed through there. Very difficult place to pass, but that's what you've got to do in a situation. You've got to start trying to find a way through.
Yeah, indeed, just start psyching him out. I mean, I say that, but of course, that's what we guys do for us in lowered cases and lower levels, excuse me. And all, where these guys are still, like I said, top brass. That's not going to be as likely to happen Of course, I say that, and the one we all view as God here, Mr. Cola, is having a bad day, so very much anything is happening at this point.
Yeah, it's been a very topsy-turvy afternoon for him, and it could just be looking to get a little bit better. He's already, as we say, back into 8th. He's set his sights on AZ Best. Let's see what he can do from here. However, though, it's got to be so close for him now to push his way back through, because over halfway through the race, the time's going to start slipping by. And it's not like a track like Laguna Seca or Silverstone where you're guaranteed to get a draft at the end of straights. It's not like a circuit like Laguna Seca or Watkins Glen where you know there's certain corners where you can pass. It's a very unique circuit and it's very undulating. Asa Ricola finding that one out first hand. It requires a completely different set of characteristics to be able to captivate and motivate this circuit.
Oh, indeed. I mean, we have a circuit at home kind of similar to that Virginia International, and you know, which is very similar to this track in the sense that, and all. But yeah, I'm happy to see the Acers come back up to where he is now in that battle for 7. If he can get 7, that'll be a great save for him, considering all that has happened at this moment.
It really will. He's only 1.7 seconds away, and once again the man in front of him is the man who sent the title to the final round of the New Year's Championship. And what an event that was. Now let's just see what he can do from this situation though. Can AZ Best hold on again and throw another spanner in the works of Asa Ricola, or is Asa going to be able to get his way through and out of the way without a shadow of a doubt? Meanwhile, Cortese in 5th, still fighting with Sean, trying to get his way through. But that battle for 3rd place is still not going to be settled for quite some time, I fear.
I agree. I'm also on to say that it'll probably still be brewing until the last corner of the last lap, in a sense.
I think it's just got to be almost rewarded that these drivers, I mean, they're going to take a drink after this. Oh, and Kepi's that. Now, what's happened to Kepi the legend? Is that a retirement or is that a disconnection issue? The man who was in 2nd is out of the race, and that means that Lounger, Sean and Cortese are now fighting over 2nd place. It's also effectively handing Van Panta the victory. He's got 36 seconds back to Lounger, Sean and Cortese, but if we can get some information on what happened to Kepi the legend, then we'll pass the information on to you as soon as we hear anything. But this battle has just become a whole lot more interesting.
Indeed. Indeed, at this point, you know, that just raised the stakes a little bit, all that little higher for Sean 24 to go ahead and battle for him. I'll be right back, guys.
It's been one of the most exciting events in a long time here at Simraceway, especially that B race earlier on. Remarkable scenes that really was. Now, the real question on everyone's lips is going to be, surely, how can these drivers come over this? If the circuit's going to start claiming victims, now it's going to start taking a few casualties. It's all about how the drivers react from that, how they adapt their driving styles. Can they be more consistent? Is it possible? Or is it unfortunately going to be too little too late? Or old habits going to shine through? One way to find out, and that is to watch the final few laps of the Simraceway Sunday race-off for week number 54 here live on the Simraceway YouTube channel. It's been a breathtaking event all night so far, and we've still got a long way to go before the end of the race. A run through of the order as it stands then after our latest retirement. We've got Lounger still very much holding on to 2nd place, but we'll touch on that in a moment. Van Panta from Lounger, Sean 3rd, Cortese 4th and Graufindo in P5. But that 3-way battle, I think they must have realised how much is at stake now, because it is tightened up so close. An update onto what's happened with Kepi the legend. His car or engine stopped, which is a very bizarre problem. It has happened before, if you remember back to Area 51, that when he hit the wall he damaged the engine. And unfortunately after that it seemed like a prolonged mechanical fault. The car no longer would respond, the engine stopped, and as did his chances of a podium finish. So we've still got some battles left to be solved here. We've got 10 laps of racing left to go. And we've still got all that midfield. Oh, we've got AGO6's. Oh my goodness me, the wheels come off. And that's rolling down the circuit. And it's going to, I think, stay out of the way. It won't collide with any cars or anything like that, I assume. Going to roll safely into the barrier. May rebound and come back, though. And it's still rolling. That tyre doesn't seem to want to stop anytime soon. But AGO6, however, does. And that will be a retirement for AGO6. Now, I'm going to be intrigued, actually, to find out if that tyre stays rolling back onto the circuit. Because if a driver doesn't see that, that's going to be a little bit of an issue. Now, let's take a look at where Van Panther is in comparison. In fact, he's about to start at number 18, so Van Panther really is flying at the moment. And we'll see if we can spot the loose tyre on the circuit. It's a case of where's Waldo out there now, as over the line, a 1:48.4. Van Panther has just not been matched all afternoon. Remarkable pace from the get-go, a 1:48.4. That is simply blistering pace, and he deserves a victory here today. Now, this is the corner where AGO6 had the moment. There's the wall, and where is the tyre? The answer is, it seems to have safely guided its way off the circuit, so there will no longer be any yellow and red flags out for debris on the circuit, and the drivers can carry on their battle as normal.
Yeah, that's good to hear and all. Sorry, I've been a bit in and out because of the race.
But it's not a problem, is I think now it's all going to start to get very, very tense in the midfield, as Asa Recola still cannot find a way past AZ Best despite his finest efforts. Now, AZ Best has clung on very strong all afternoon. He's not really held up a torch to the drivers in front, but what he's doing right now is simply fantastic. He's driving the race of his life.
Indeed, at this moment, it seems so.
And as you can just see, the wheels working a little bit harder now in the back of Asa Recola's car, which we're still yet to determine if it's damaged or no, of course. After the collision with the wall earlier, there could still very well be some lasting damage on there. But let's wait and see as they go through that very tight apex. Asa Recola looking like he's on a bit of a... Oh, he's on Tater's off again! And a mighty spin, a big moment. And that has surely ruined any chance of a top 5 now. He's back in the pits, he's out of the race. Asa Recola, a very uncharacteristic spin there.
Indeed.
And that is absolutely unreal. Hopefully we do not see something like that again, but oh my god.
Yes, indeed. Indeed, Liam. Sorry, I've got to go at this point. I may be back by the end of the race, may or may not. So in case if I'm not back, I'll be out. I'll see y'all. I won't see y'all next week. I will see y'all in 2 weeks' time. Okay. See ya.
John, no worries. So we've got the closing stages of the race now. Asa Recola just retired. An actual update on the drivers who have not made it to the end of the race. There's only 8 runners still driving. And those drivers are now Asa Recola retired very recently, AGO6 the lap before, Kepu the legend lap number 15, lap 11 was Sky at 87, the rookie, D'Amagico lap 11, Baxagaba lap number 5, and that is the end of the list of retirements. The field as it stands, Van Panther from Lounger, Sean 24, Cortese, Graufindel, AZ Best, B13A6, and Luke Sky 80, who round out your field. And a Sunday race-off is not a Sunday race-off without a little bit of controversy or something like that, but what a race it's been, what an afternoon it's been so far. Through goes Luke Sky, trying to drive against the tarmac. Now the main battle will be going on that second place war between Lounger, Sean 24 and Cortese. It's all going to be very seesaw and to and fro between the drivers at the moment, but feeling it's going to be, and I think they've all three had a bit of a moment there as they go through. With the jump they go, and I think my internet may be throwing me a bit of a curveball right now, as they'll try and shuffle themselves into an asserted order. Down the main straight they come. Apologies for the delay in commentary. My internet's not really graced me with consistency today. Not like these guys have anyway. They've been some very consistent drivers. And in turn, it's been 34 minutes of racing around a very difficult circuit. When you think of how much work is required to complete, let alone one lap of Cadwell Park, you've got to think 26 of them is going to be near impossible in a racing environment. They've all done very well indeed. But down they go, and we've got to keep an eye again on Van Panther. Oh, well, it's been a move there for second. And that is, no, third, I beg your pardon. Cortese passing Sean 24. And that was an illustrious manoeuvre. Very ambitious, but my goodness me. Very, very, very competitive now. And you can start feeling that in sheer tension as the two go side by side. Round the outside, they're touching, and somehow Sean 24 holds on. That was remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. On 24 gains third. What can Cortese do in response? And they're both on the grass there, in fact, as they come out of the final corner to start lap number 21 out of the 26 we've got here today. Over
User in your channel timed out. User
Simraceway won't know exactly how to handle the situation. How to handle it on a circuit like this, though, is something truly exceptional. There we go, and Van Panther already just completing a 1:47.9. That's, oh my god, we thought a 1:48 was quick. A 1:49 was quick. A 1:47 is almost alien. But still, as we run through the order, that battle for third still being the main talking point of the last few moments, and we fear it's going to be until the end of the race as well, as the rest of the field is so separated out right now. The 8 drivers that do remain after the attrition rate has been sky high at a circuit that's seen some brilliant and breathtaking overtake movers, but I think one of the main points has got to be that drastic move by Sky at 87. He zoomed to the inside. They went 3 wide through turn number 14, a very difficult corner to even go 1 wide in, let alone 3 wide, and it was just not meant to be. It wasn't going to work, and it did almost cause a lot of tears. Luckily, the other 2 drivers were very aware to the situation and averted certain gross misconduct, but Sky at 87, however, still showing no signs of being a rookie. But there's one thing he has proved to us today, is that this man has got pace. If you put him in a championship environment, can't wait to see how he reacts. Cortese goes off there in P4, and he's recovered very well, but Sean 24 has now got his focus purely set Well, taking second off Lounger, who's held second place for all 22 laps so far. You have 3 laps to go. It's a real shame that he hasn't been able to do a bit more with it, but nonetheless, what a result it will be for these 3 drivers. They'll thoroughly deserve their respective positions. And let's just hope that there are no more cruel twists of fate here at Cadwell Park. Just trying to take a ride on board then with the battle for third as Sean 24 tries to attack Lounger, and just look how hard it is to pull even close here in the Mazda MX-5 Miata. There's only just a few more laps to go then, there'll be 3 laps next time by. And this is where racers become heroes and heroes become legends. Sometimes legends become champions, but there's only one real champion in this race, and that man is 41 seconds clear of this field. Van Panther has done a splendid job here today and truly does deserve every last bit of congratulations he will receive and more. Very, very dominating driving, and that's a sign of things to come in the next championship, which will air next weekend here live on Simraceway. And Lord only knows what it's got in store for us. Down they go through the carousel and out of the final corner. They start lap number 24 of 26. Still Lounger holding on in the clutch. Very solid drive so far. Is there a little bit more left in the tank for Sean 24 so he can try and pull out a manoeuvre or no? We'll still have to wait and see, but for now Lounger's got to be commended. Brilliant drive so far. There you go, here comes Cortese. He's a bit far away. I think he's dropped 5 seconds. I think he's realised that there's no point, because seeing as you'll be under the dirty air of that Mazda for so long, 43 minutes, you know, being just a few hundredths of a second away from the car in front will not be good for the air intakes and the engine. They will get very hot very quickly, and I think it's just key now for Cortese to think, you know what, maybe I won't get third, maybe I won't get second, but I can take home fourth. Let's just let the car cool down, drive home, and make sure we bring that car over the start-finish line. Almost too well moment there for Cortese, just got a bit too aggressive, we fear, but I think that it's pretty much signed and delivered. Is extremely close now to the back of Lounger, and that is the closest he's been, I think, in all 24 laps of this race. They start the penultimate lap now, Cadwell Park. The end is nigh, and it's going to be an absolute thriller to see how this one pans out. Over the start-finish line they go. And now drivers need to go into their own over the apex and up in towards turn number 2. Very risky manoeuvre, and he runs a bit wide there, does Lounger. It looks to me apparently like, well, it pointed out by a race administrator that Van Panther... Oh, he's got a problem! Van Panther's out of fuel! He must be short-shifting! Something's wrong with his car! He's cruising along at 75 now, unless this is a very arrogant display of what this car can do and how much of a lead he's got. There's a problem. That would be very uncharacteristic to do that sort of move. Van Panther has a problem, and there is no way that car's going to last another lap. He's got to get back to the pits now, and the worst part is he's only halfway around the lap. Oh my goodness me, the tension is arising. You can see Lounger In the background, Sean's bringing with him as well. You've got Cortese still a part in this race who could get a podium. Oh, he's struggling through the gears. He'll be willing that on with every bone in his body as he bounces over the curbs. This is absolutely incredible. Van Panther is struggling for fuel. He's only got one more corner to go. He just needs to get to the pit lane. There's no way he can make another lap on that, surely. No, he's going to go for it, isn't it? Oh, he's going to go for it. So he's going to go for that final. He's only got 23 seconds. If that car runs out of fuel, oh, I don't think he'll hear the end of it. I think he will not forgive himself for that. He's only got 16 more corners, another 3 miles, and this race is signed, sealed and delivered. Oh, cannot adhere to the tension right now, can you? He's thinking of it as well, isn't he? Oh, there's just been a bit of a with the car. Still pushing on there. He's got up to 95 miles an hour. It's the best he's been for quite some time, it seems. Because, well, as in terms of speed anyway, I think the battle for second and third is going to get remarkably close, as well as Lounger is doing everything he can to hold on. Sean is throwing everything. About this, trying to nurse his car home. He's only 15 seconds in front. Lounger's pushing on. He knows he can sneak a victory. Sean 24 knows he can sneak a second. As both cars fight for position, they know what's at stake. They cannot make a silly risk. Not with Cortese that close behind them. There's just a few more corners to go, and if Van Banda can run this car home, that really will be a monumental achievement. Only got one more corner left. He's 10 seconds in front. It depends how quickly he can get up to speed. Oh, it's going to be close. He should be able to do it. The start-finish line is not until right at the end of the circuit, but he should be okay. Out of the distance, there comes Lounger. It is a win for Van Panther in unlikely circumstances. He does win at Cadwell Park. What a drive. 26 laps led. Thoroughly deserving. What a drive. Lounger takes second in front of Sean in possibly one of his best defensive drives in his career so far. Sean 24 comes so close but so far. Cortese takes fourth. Fifth place for Grau Findle. Sixth place will be for AZ Best. Seventh for B13A6. Eighth place for Luke Sky 80, and that will round out the order. Retirements for the day, of course: Asa Ricola, AGO6, Kepu the Legend, and then it was Sky 87, DeMagico, Bax Gaber, and they round out your retirements. But what a drive by Van Panther to nurse that car home under the most unlikely circumstance. It was so close. So that brings us to the end of your Sunday race-off for week number 54, I believe. Thank you so much to our cameraman No Fear C, who's also been present in the race earlier on, so congratulations there for his efforts, and to our event manager Phil Kisako to making this seriously a very good event, to bringing in some great talent, to seeing a new car, a new track, which must have been received very well by the drivers for the amount of fantastic action we saw earlier on. To our co-commentator who's in and out today, John Daniels. If you want to get in contact with us, guys, don't forget to head on Twitter at Simraceway, and our Facebook page /Simraceway, or my personal Twitter is at Liam J. No, sorry, I beg your pardon. Now it's changed at Liam Jenkins 21. So from all of us here at Simraceway, we hope you have a fantastic National Star Wars Day for May the 4th with you, and we will see you next weekend for the start of a new era in Simraceway as we enter new waters in a new championship for 2014.